Hi everyone, I'm so excited to be talking to all of you today for the 2025 Global Diamond Challenge. I want to start by just congratulating each and every one of you for just being here. By stepping into this competition, you've already proven that you don't just want to dream, you want to actually make it happen. Because who doesn't want that? You're here because you want more for your family, your lifestyle, and most importantly, your future. You want bigger and better. And that itself is the first step towards success. You're already getting there. Let me start by introducing myself. My name is Gia Rastogi, and I'm just like you. I'm 16 years old. But I live on the other side of the world, in Australia. And as much as I wanted to come to Nigeria to meet all of you and present this in person, it was important that I didn't miss out on any school. But thanks to technology, I'm able to record this and interact with you virtually. But just because I'm on a screen, it doesn't mean that the concepts I'm sharing are any less important, because they've worked for me and a lot of other people. In fact, what I'm about to share with you could change the way you think about money, the business, and your future. Or maybe you already know this stuff. But my talk will reinforce those ideas and make it more important for you to take action in the right direction. And funny enough, my journey didn't just start with an official business plan or some big idea, like you would imagine. It started when I was just 8 years old. Yes, 8 years old. With this, a paintbrush. Yup, the same thing you've used to make those beautiful artworks as a kid. But we'll get into my journey later. I'm in my final year of high school, and I've written an Amazon best-selling book called Class Clown to Wealth Wizard. I was also a finalist for the Teen Entrepreneur of the Year 2024 award. But I know what some of you might be wondering. How did a high school student write a book and turn her interest into something way bigger? And most importantly, how can you do the same? And even though this is virtual, I still want this to be as interactive as possible. So when I ask a question, raise your hand. If I ask you to reflect, close your eyes for a moment and really think about it. Because the more you engage, the more you'll take away from this. When I started making money, it wasn't because I followed some step-by-step guide from a book. It was because I saw an opportunity, took action, and figured things out along the way. Because I didn't know it all from day one. So what if something you hear today sparks an idea for you? What if that idea helps you start something that earns you money before you even graduate? So if anything clicks with you today, write it down and make notes, because that one idea could change everything. Let's talk about the theme of today's event, from passion to profit. This isn't just about money. It's about finding what excites you, what drives you, and turning that into something meaningful and sustainable. But before we can even think about talking about profit, we need to talk about passion. Raise your hand if you've ever been told to follow your passion. You know, like that one teacher who says, follow your passion and you'll never have to work a day in your life. But they look like they haven't slept in almost 3 years. Yeah. Now keep your hand up if you actually know what your passion is. If your hand is still up, that's great. But if you've put it down, that's completely okay too. 5 years ago, I wouldn't have known either. Passion is not just something you like doing. It's something you feel deeply connected to. It's something that excites you so much that you're willing to work for it, even when no one asks you to. Passion can be anything. Some of you might love painting. Some of you might love photography. Some of you might be passionate about music, physical exercise, relaxation, writing, or even coding. These are only some examples. Your passion can be pretty much anything. I mean, some people take competitive rock, paper, scissors very seriously. Yep, the game we use to figure out who gets the last piece of chocolate with your sibling. Try explaining that at a family gathering. No, uncle, I'm not becoming a doctor, but I can absolutely destroy you in rock, paper, scissors. Come on now. Okay, that's besides the point. But there's one problem with passion. It's not enough. How many people do you know who love singing but never record a song? How many people do you know who love writing but never finish their book? Passion is important, but without action, it's just an idea. I'd like to share with you my story of how I turned my interest into passion. It wasn't something that I had completely figured out at the start. It developed over many years. I want to take you back to when I was only 8 years old. My dad is an architect and he was doing a DIY renovation project. My family and I had come to visit to see how he was doing. My dad decided to make it a bit of a game. He promised me a vanilla cupcake if I helped him with 3 small tasks. Now at 8 years, my priorities were very clear. Cupcakes first, everything else second. So of course, I had to say yes. He handed me a paintbrush and said, "Help me paint this door and I'll give you the small treat." So I dipped the brush into the paint and began with a smiley face for some fun, before covering the entire door with paint. Looking back, that moment was bigger than I realized. Since then, conversations about property and money have been regular topics at the dinner table and on long drives. At first, I was just there for the cupcakes and also my family. But over time, I started listening more closely. My dad would explain investing concepts on a whiteboard, and I found myself actually interested and trying to understand. This led me to my first real entrepreneurial project. And trust me, it's not what you'd expect from a kid in the 7th grade. My dad had introduced me to this software called Autodesk Revit, which is used to virtually create architectural designs. It wasn't Minecraft or anything, I know, but I had gotten totally hooked. I was designing houses, making walkthroughs, adding furniture, even calculating floor space, all from learning through YouTube tutorials. I made beach houses, mini houses, houses that actually seemed interesting. My dad noticed my designs and out of the blue asked if I'd help with his friend with his renovation project. His friend wanted to see what a new kitchen might look like in his property, and I was going to do the digital mock-up. And here's the best part. He actually offered to pay me $300. Imagine being in year 7 and getting paid for something you thought was just some fun. That experience was my first taste of entrepreneurship. It taught me that combining what you love with earning money isn't just possible, it's powerful. I realized that if I put effort into something that added value, I could create my own opportunities. And suddenly, it wasn't just about that one day or waiting for the right moment. I could start right where I was. I didn't have a business plan or anything. I just focused on what interested me and gave that my best. That's how you too can create opportunities for yourself. Now fast forward a few years, and I was actively involved in the digital presence of my family business, Get Rare Properties, which educates Aussies about strategic property investments. My learning continued as I edited and proofread my dad's book and overheard the nitty-gritty of his discussions with clients. When Get Rare Properties was invited to the Australian Property Expos, I designed the marketing materials for the events. Even though I was pretty scared at first, I joined my friends in handing out information brochures, and I'd step in to explain our family business to visitors. It was a valuable learning experience and definitely a confidence booster for me. Now, I manage the website on a daily basis. At first, I didn't realize this was my passion. I just thought it was something I enjoyed. But then I saw a bigger purpose. Young people like me weren't learning these things in school. My friends had no idea how money worked, how investing worked, or how to create financial opportunities for themselves. And that's when I realized that my passion wasn't just about learning finance. It was about helping others to understand it too. So I made it simple. Many of the books out there were quite intimidating, with big words and not for beginners. That's why I wrote Class Clown to Wealth Wizard, that's written as a story but teaches along the way. By providing value, people wanted to buy it, which eventually led to profits. And that's how I turned my passion into profit. But I have something a bit controversial to share. The phrase passion to profit is false. Yep, it's wrong. There's a step missing from in between. Many people stop at passion. They love something, but they never do anything with it. The real transformation when you turn that passion into a purpose. Your passion is what excites you, but your purpose is when your passion meets a problem that needs solving. For me, that problem was the lack of financial literacy. For you, it could be anything. Maybe you love technology and want to create apps that solve real-world problems. Maybe you love art and want to use it to tell powerful stories. Maybe you love fashion and want to create a brand that inspires confidence. For me, I decided to take what I learned and put it into a book. But I had absolutely no idea where to start. I was just a teenager. Who would take me seriously? That's when I realized something really important. You don't need to wait for permission. If you have something valuable to share, people will listen. So I reached out to mentors, learned from successful authors, and started writing. I wasn't perfect, and I obviously didn't have everything figured out, but I kept going. And in the end, I published Class Clown to Wealth Wizard, which became an Amazon bestseller in 3 categories. That book has opened doors for me, speaking opportunities, recognition, and even business opportunities. But none of that would have happened if I hadn't turned my passion into a purpose first. A lot of people think that passion automatically leads to profit, but it doesn't. There's a step in between. Profit doesn't just mean money. Profit means opportunities. It means influence. It means to first create something that people see value in. When I published my book, I didn't think about making money at first. I thought about how I could help people. But because my book was valuable, people bought it. It's what led to speaking engagements, interviews, podcasts, and awards. When you create value, profit will follow. You need to start by finding your passion. Remember, it's what excites you, something that you feel deeply connected to. Then you need to turn it into your purpose. Figure out who it can help by first finding a problem you could solve. Maybe your passion is art. The problem, people need visual stories that inspire them. Maybe your passion is technology. The problem, businesses need innovative solutions. Maybe your passion is education. The problem, people need access to better learning resources. Once you understand the problem you're solving, you can start taking action. Create value for others with that specific problem. Then the profit will follow. This journey won't be easy at all. I could have made 100 excuses. I'm too young. No one will take me seriously. I don't know enough. But excuses don't get you anywhere. You could even say that they're taking you backwards. Success isn't just about talent. It's about your mindset. You will face fear, you will face failure, and you will have moments where you wonder if it's even worth it. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. Successful people keep on going. I've had moments of doubt myself, but every time I remind myself, if I stop now, nothing changes. But if I keep going, I can create opportunities for myself. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just need to take that first step and build up the momentum from there. But let's be real, taking that first step is often the hardest part. Because the moment you think about starting, those little voices of doubt creep in. You start questioning yourself. Am I really capable of this? Do I have what it takes? Who am I to do this? This is one of the most common doubts. You might think, I'm just a student, I don't have enough experience, why would anyone listen to me? But here's the truth. Every expert was once a beginner. No one starts out knowing everything. The only difference between those who succeed and those who don't is that successful ones started. The world doesn't reward people for waiting until they feel ready. It rewards those who take action despite their doubts. But maybe your doubt isn't about your ability, it's about your age. A lot of people think success has an age requirement, but obviously it doesn't. Some of the most successful entrepreneurs started in their teens. If you have an idea, a skill, or a message, your age doesn't disqualify you. It actually works in your favor. You bring fresh perspectives, creativity, and energy that older people might not have. Because the sooner you start, the more time you have to grow and improve. But none of that happens if you keep waiting. And that leads to the next excuse. The belief that you need to be ready to take action. But here's the truth. You will never feel 100% ready. Waiting until you feel fully prepared is basically just another form of procrastination. You don't need to know everything to begin. The most successful people start before they feel ready, and then they figure things out along the way. Think about it. How do you actually get better at anything? By doing it in the first place. The only way to improve is by actually taking that first step. But even if you're all ready to start, there's always that one lingering fear. The fear of failure. What if it doesn't work? But what if it does? Fear of failure holds so many people back, but failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of it. Every mistake teaches you something. Every setback makes you stronger. The people who succeed aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who fail, learn, and keep going. The real failure isn't making mistakes. The real failure is never starting at all. And here's the crazy thing. Most people don't fail because they're not smart enough, or talented enough, or capable enough. They fail because they never start. And why don't they start? Because of procrastination. When you delay something you know you should do, even when you have the time to do it, it's not about being lazy. It's about avoiding discomfort, fear, or even just the effort it takes to get started. And we've all been a victim of it too. I actually recorded a short video on this earlier, and I'd love to share it with you. Instead of just talking about procrastination, I break down 3 simple steps to help you beat it, so you can finally start getting things done and not just thinking about them. Because let's be real, we all have things we'll say we'll do, and then somehow they just never happen. Pay close attention and feel free to take notes on the video too, because what you're about to hear might just change the way you think about procrastination forever. So watch this. If you've been putting off your dreams, this might be the most important 60 seconds of your day. Procrastination, the silent killer of dreams. Trust me, I know. I was 14 in high school, juggling homework, exams, and social life. I had this big idea for writing a book, but I kept telling myself, I'll start after exams. Then after exams became next term. One day, I thought, What if I just start with one thing? So I opened a blank document and wrote the first sentence of what would become my book, Class Clown to Wealth Wizard. That small step changed everything. From that moment, I wrote a little bit every day. Here's how you too can beat procrastination. Step 1. Start with just 5 minutes. Set a timer, focus on one task, and don't overthink it. Step 2. Eliminate distractions. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb and block time-wasting websites. I've been there too. Step 3. Reward yourself for small wins. Finished your first draft? Grab a coffee. Completed a workout? Treat yourself to something you love. Procrastination is just fear in disguise. It's the fear of failure, the fear of starting, or the fear of looking silly. But here's the thing. Action cures fear. The only thing standing between you and your goal is getting started today. See, that's how it happens. We don't intentionally give up on our dreams. We just delay them and delay them and delay them until they just fade away. But here's the truth. Waiting doesn't make things easier. Waiting doesn't make you more prepared. The only thing that moves you forward is taking action, no matter how small. And I love what the video said. Action cures fear. The moment you take that first step, the doubts get quieter and the momentum takes over. So remember the 3 steps from the video. Start with just 5 minutes. Eliminate distractions and reward yourself for the small wins. You will always have reasons to doubt yourself, but if you let those doubts control your actions, you'll stay exactly where you are now. The only way to move forward is to push past them. This isn't just a one-time conversation. One of the most powerful things you can do with your passion is share it. When you share your ideas, your experiences, and your journey, you're not only reinforcing your own learning, but you inspire others to take action too. We live in a world where ideas spread faster than ever. A single post, a shared insight, or a simple conversation can open doors you never imagined. That's why I believe in putting my knowledge out there, because the more we share, the more we grow together. I actively share real-life tips, insights, and lessons from my own journey, things that I wish I had known when I started. If you ever need guidance, motivation, or just a reminder that you're not alone in this, I invite you to connect with me. You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, and Facebook. My usernames and QR codes are on the screen. Because when we stay connected, we keep learning, growing, and turning our passions into something way bigger than ourselves. I just want to take a moment to say thank you to Lucy and the Diamond Challenge team for organizing this incredible event, and to all the judges and mentors for their time and support, and most importantly to you for being here today. Whether you took notes, gained a fresh perspective, or just got inspired, I hope this session gave you something valuable to take forward. Success is not just about waiting for the right moment. It's about creating that right moment. The only difference between those who succeed and those who don't is action. So, I'll leave you with this one question. What action will you take next? Thank you all for listening, and I really hope you enjoyed this conversation. Thank you so much.